What's the number one thing you want everyone in this room to walk away with? And this question comes from Alana McMillan, wherever you are.
That I think there's literally 300 million different ways to win in the US, if that's how many people we have, right? Like that there is no blueprint, there is no exact way. It only comes down to being able to factor in the 40 or 50 indexes, input points, context points around your life, and then navigating through that. And so what I really want is for people to understand, don't do it like me, don't do it like you, don't do it like Zucks, don't do it like Trap, don't do it like Cuban, like spend as much time as you can. And Steph, I'll be honest with you, maybe you know the answer, I'm actually weirdly asking you. If I knew how to help people like create more self-awareness, it's what I would sell. I don't know if that comes through therapy or some system, or I don't know, I really don't.
My fear is actually the reverse in terms of with all of the information, with all the self-help, with all the people on Instagram saying these 3 easy steps, the fear is we are telling people, as soon as you have a job if you have a job that you like, click. And when you meet a man that you like, click. And then you can afford a house, and then you have a baby. All of these things are the recipe for success. Well, if you're using some sort of Cosmo checklist for the recipe for success, you are going to end up very unhappy because success is internal.
So I'll go a different way, fine, but I actually think we're in a much better place than we've been for the last 60 years on this issue.
Why?
Because prior to this world where we have so many more opinions and platforms, we had 3 channels that told everybody that thing. There was 3 old white guys that owned ABC and NBC and CBS.
That's a great point.
That completely pushed down to them what it was supposed to be. So now at least we have a lot more voices and there's more things to navigate. Thank you.
One thing I look at when I look at your career, Gary.
Well, listen, I get excited when you say that's a good point because I know how you roll, and it is
no,
a good point.
I think it's a really good point. I think it's a really good point.
3 people said this is the American way. Woman, you stay at home. Man, you do this. Everybody go work for the machine because that was in the vested interest of all the people in the top. And so now at least they have more options. Now,
find your American dream.
You know, now look, there's a lot of bad from that because there's a lot of fucking hucksters that are selling you guys bullshit that would have never gotten on TV that you now are listening to because, you know, they're renting a $300,000 car for the day, taking an Instagram photo of it and saying, yo, you know, it's so fucking disgusting.
But hold on.
Yeah.
But it's not those hucksters' fault. So everyone in the audience who complains that the Kardashians were on magazine covers 110 times last year, it's not the
100%.
Hold on. But it's not the Kardashians' fault.
It's the market's fault.
It's not the media's fault.
It's the
media will sell whatever you will buy.
100%.
The problem is, if you don't like it, stop buying it.
100%. More importantly, stop judging other people's escapism. Like, I don't care if you like the car, good for you. I like the Jets. That could be a waste of 5 hours a day. It's grown, like I don't.
Hold on a second. If we ask Lizzie, it's way more than 5 hours.
It's probably right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the fact of the matter is that everybody needs escapism. Everybody needs it. It's what music and entertainment and everything is built on. So I think we're wasting too much time judging people's choice of escapism. I'm saying, don't listen to these hucksters because I think I'm gonna be played out to be right because I know what their intentions are. I know them. They're not doing the right thing. But I'll be very blunt with the 600 people in here. I don't care if you do it. I can't. I don't have enough time or energy in the day to individually care if you figured out that there is no quick fix in building something that puts you in the top 1% of society.
Who are rushing to say, Gary, solve my problem.
I have it every day.
Business.
I have it every day. I'm very comfortable in that environment. I give answers every day to that. And I'll decide what I want to do on an individual basis. And if I lose, then I deserve to lose. And if they lose, they deserve to lose. I am an absolute believer that the market is the market is the market is the market. And so you can trick the market for a few minutes and we could be upset about all the fake entrepreneurs or the funded companies, but there'll be a day that comes and then they'll all be gone. And it'll be fucking awesome. And it'll be awesome, I'll tell you why, because that's what's supposed to happen. Guys, nothing good comes easy. Like, what good stuff should come easy? I use this word audacity. If you have the audacity to be in the 1%, which one more time means you were making $400,000 a year before taxes, which is, by the way, a booby prize to most people when they think about entrepreneurship. I don't know anybody in entrepreneur tech land or solo entrepreneur that thinks that $400,000 a year is the North Star. It's much bigger than that. I get the emails every day. Everybody thinks a million a year is like the minimum cost of entry to anything, right?
Okay, but Gary,
yes.
Someone always has to pay. This whole idea that, I'm gonna build a multi-million-dollar business. I want everyone to get free pre-K. There is no there is no gold at the end of the rainbow. Someone has to pay.
Okay.
So this idea that, no one thinks $400,000 is a lot of money. When are we gonna click and realize, oh shit, it is?
Never. Our whole entire human race from the beginning of mankind has proven we will never do that. It's just not a human way. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with, great. You know what? By the way, I'm the biggest fan of humans. We're still here. I actually think humans are the most underrated brand in the world. I actually believe that.
What does that mean?
I'll explain.
I think humans are the most underrated brand
the world that you live in,
yeah.
big media, has done a really good job in convincing every mother in here that they shouldn't let their kids play outside. Because they fucking reported on kidnapping until they couldn't get enough of it, right? And so now we have a generation of people that don't want to put their kids outside, yet we're safer than ever because of devices. Nobody's kidnapping anybody, yet the propaganda filled us nice and good, right? And so, what does it mean? I mean, humans could do anything to each other. We should have blew each other up a long time ago with the atomic bomb. I could stab you in the face with this fork right now, right? That can happen.
Streaming on MSNBC.
And so, but think about this. Think about how much damage we're capable of to each other. We do so little. The problem is, mainstream media reports on that 0.01%. I really believe that. I really am a big believer in that. I'm stunned how good people are. I love it.
How would you define emotional intelligence?
I think it's the things that are actually happening in our world. I think it's the things that are happening that we can't explain this. Of course we can. Charisma matters, right? Intuition matters. Deploying empathy and gratitude matter. These are real things. That's why they exist. That's why they're words. They're real things. And so I would define them as all the things that aren't about black and white, either data or math or written words or information, that really separate people from success or not. I consider it likability is a good word. I think likability is likability is completely predicated on emotional intelligence, right? And so I actually think because information's becoming commoditized by the internet, I actually think I'm a complete byproduct of the internet becoming important, because I think I so overskew in emotional intelligence and underskew in IQ that I think I'm a preview of things to come.
Do you think we've become too reliant then on big data? The fact that we talk so much about it sort of takes out the element of surprise. I take you to the NBA. Mark Cuban would say, implementing big data is the key to having a winning team. And at the NBA Tech Conference, Charles Barkley and Magic Johnson sat there, and Charles Barkley said, big data, you know when a boy has basketball skills. Forget big data. So what's the right lane?
Both. It's just both, right? I love big data, but do you know where my success and VaynerMedia's for their client success comes from with big data? Having the human ability to interpret it and turn it into something. And talent trumps all. What Barkley's argument is, and Barkley's very right in a lot of areas and a little bit wrong in some other areas, in my opinion. I know his argument on this, which is, look, talent's gonna trump anything. If basketball especially, look who's won the NBA title for the last 30 years. It's been the 11 guys, right? In basketball, one player, unlike any other sport, fundamentally dictates the outcome because they play both ways, not like football and baseball, right? It's just clear, right? That being said,
you can maximize your talent.
You can maximize, that's it. And you can maximize getting a role player who hits corner threes because that's the highest percentage. And so the Spurs have used that, the Rockets have used that to win more games. So it's both. I actually think once we wrap our head about privacy, we're about to go through a real unbelievable era. I think I'm gonna miss it.
What do you mean?
I think once we go through a full cycle, I think 80 years from today, humans are gonna live a much happier life than we do now because there'll be less privacy. I think once we all wrap our heads around, I think I live stick with me. I think I live a happier life and I'm a better man because I know a lot of people are watching me and it's changed my behavior. And so I'm optimistic.
Why? What were you doing before?
Nothing. But
I mean, you just opened.
Okay.
How does it change your behavior?
Fine. Alex, Liz's brother-in-law, my brother-in-law, had a wedding. We went to Vegas, and I decided not to go to the Spearmint Rhino because I was exploding on Twitter at the time, and I thought it would be a bad idea if somebody took a picture.
For those who don't know what Spearmint Rhino is, it's the most well-known gentleman's club just off the Las Vegas Strip.
Right. So, like, just little things like that. Like
I looked that up.
I just truly believe that when you're living your
so
life.
So had you not been blowing up on social media, you would have been front and center throwing dollar bills.
And that's right. Yes. And more importantly, not that that's bad, but I'm watching a lot of people's behavior shift. And look, who decides what's good and bad? And you can get into very big arguments, but I'm telling you right now, when you wrap your head around knowing that everything you write and everything you do is searchable, your whole world changes. If I told all my homies right now, hey bro, every single thing you send to a girl on Tinder eventually would be searchable under your name, I think some of the shit they'd write would be different.